All right. And we are live. The last word, the campfire returns. Lord Cognito and Ebontis back in the building. Man, it feels good to be back. But actually, we had some fun last week,
we
man.
did.
It was
We
good.
had
It's
a
good
week
actually
off on
seeing
the
you again.
podcast, but we got to hang out, so that was cool.
Yes,
Coming
yes.
through
Shout
the
out.
Texas area, going down. You got to go to a really cool wedding. It sounded like, so that was awesome.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Lady SWAT, Lady Panda. The royal ceremony was fantastic. Complete gamer wedding. So that was awesome. Like, if you're a gamer, like the little nuances they had at their wedding was so everything was so geeked out. It left a place in my heart. I was like, yes, this is my boy right here. They married. It was great, man. So that was cool. And then obviously, you know what I'm saying, I was in the area, so I had to see if the cheetah was roaming, if he was available.
Not
You
roaming
know what I'm
too
saying?
far, but roaming. Yeah, they were available. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it was glad
man.
to have you in, man. We got some tasty food. My wife showed you her favorite queso spot, and you approved.
Woo.
That was good
Super
stuff.
approved.
Yeah, Torchy's
Salute.
Tacos is tasty stuff. So, not
Torchy's
a sponsor, but if
Tacos.
you feel like sponsoring, I like tacos, so send them on over.
Yo, the campfire approves of that one. That one,
approves.
we get a little torchy taco joint.
There you go. Yeah. Damn
Do a
good
little spot.
tacos, and they are for sure.
Absolutely, man.
So how's your
It
week
was
been,
cool.
man? Now that you finally settled back in, and you've had a little breather since you've been enjoying little festivities. So shout out
Mm-hmm.
to the Ninja, by the way. Everybody in the podcast, got a little love out there. Hit him up on Twitter at Lord Cognito. Blow up his Twitter for his birthday festivities. We are recording today. He's gonna go get drunk tonight. Who knows what he's gonna do? He might not know what tomorrow is, but for now, send him a little love out there on the Twitters, guys. Blow up his Twitter.
Yeah.
Show him a good time. Not too much of a good time though. Got to keep it clean.
People, much appreciated. It's gonna be a wild one, most likely. But so this is probably the most sober you will see me. That's why we're doing it. I
I
started
probably
doing
won't
this
see
short
you
this
after
time.
this, so that's probably why.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true. But we got
You're like, I'm
got
not on
the
camera.
pre-cake.
Why? I don't look like me.
Yo, salute to the chat. Salute to everybody for the birthday wishes, man. Yeah, definitely another one. But yeah, man, we got some fun. We got to talk a little Destiny before all those festivities.
Indeed.
But I'm excited, man. I got my pre-cake, so I'm good.
All right, he's working on something over there. So, if you're listening to this on audio, you don't get to see what he's eating. I think it's ice cream. I can't tell, but if you guys are catching this on video, you guys know we do listen to this on audio. We are on your podcast platform of choice, just about all of them. So Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. You guys can find us there. I do upload those shortly after this thing is done. So if you guys find us there, you can also find us in the video form if you want to see what our mugs look like over here while we eat ice cream, at least one of us. You can come check us out on our YouTube channels, both on Ebontis YouTube channel and the Iron Lords podcast. We are all over the place. So if you guys listen on audio, find us on video. If you like the video but you want to take us on the go, you got audio as well. And I just wanted to shout out for you guys, just to sponsor the podcast. We got Anchor. They have been a great source to host the podcast for us. They have been really easy to work with. So quick little sponsor break for them, and then we will be right back. All right, so I just want to thank you guys for tuning out today. I know we got a different time for the podcast, just work schedules and birthday festivities. So an afternoon Friday one for you guys. But for the birthday, man, you get the honors. What have you been up to this week, sir? Playing anything? Gaming? Sleeping a lot? Who knows? What have you been up to?
Yeah, man. So again, this is kind of vacation for me. Obviously, I kind of pre-planned it, but yeah, I've been doing a little Destiny. I got a little Destiny. Actually, you're gonna laugh. I had a fun little story. I did doing like old raids.
Oh.
So
I actually saw you doing that because my brother, I was playing with him, and
Yes.
I looked and I was like, what are you doing in Leviathan? And then I was like, are you getting your like PC sleeper catalyst or something? Is that?
Oh, you know me.
I knew
You know
exactly
me.
what you were
know
doing.
me.
Called it.
Yep,
I knew
bro.
exactly what you were doing.
You called it, bro. You called it. I basically
I need to do
I had to convince, and it took all type of convincing for them to even attempt Spire of Stars with me. So how I tricked them, and I say, look,
Are you just
I know we
bribing
hate this
them
raid.
with like podcast
like-
guests or something like that?
This is what I go. Look, it's only listen. I said the catalyst drops at any chest in the account. I said we don't even got to do the raid. We technically just got to do the first part, maybe the jumping puzzle. We got 2 opportunities for a chest, and then we'll stop. So I get round up people. Shout out to Addict.
Liar.
Shout out to Sinister.
Big liar.
He's like complete lie. I was like trying to get this thing done. I really want this catalyst because I'm a sleeper fan. So I'm like, all right. So I get them to do it. We go through the first run, and it went well. Nobody got a drop, which was weird. I thought it was maybe guaranteed. Maybe each part, but okay, nobody really
Like
got
the catalyst or
anything.
just anything?
The catalyst.
Okay.
Catalyst. So I'm like, all right. So then we get to the jumping puzzle, which is hilarious. We're tossing the football around, doing that whole thing. So we get it, and then now it's time to get the chest. So I'm like, all right, should I touch it now? Should I wait for the other guys? So like 2 other guys touched it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna jump in now. Didn't get it, so I'm like, all right, cool. So then I'm waiting, and we're like, yo, let's go. We gotta go to the next section. So Addict's like, yo, I haven't got there yet. Just wait by the chest. I'm like, all right, cool. This. I was so angry. It dropped for him. And he didn't even care. He didn't even want this. He was the person that really didn't want to do it. And I'm sitting there. He's like, so then he's doing like emojis with his character.
Is it heroic or normal?
We're doing heroic. And the loadout was awful. Bro, we had hand cannon primary. I believe sniper. I just got terrible snipers in my energy. I don't really have good energy snipers. Oh. And then I think anything for
the new apostate's pretty good. Just saying that.
Yeah, which I don't have. And so basically I was running Ace of Spades, some weird energy shoddy, sniper, and I think I'm going to say Delirium. That was what I was running with. But I was it's not bad, but again, with the ads and everything that was coming up, it just, again, I guess they scale your light level down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, so you're not really feeling like you're 9.
You might be 20 above, and that's about it. You're not like 200 above. You'll never be truly OP in Destiny. That is one thing about this game. You never truly get to be like a god.
Yes.
Yet we have killed gods, but we don't ever get to feel like one.
We don't get to feel like one.
Yeah, it's a weird,
weird
thing.
Shout out to Addict. So his punishment now is every reset, him and Sinister must run Spire of Stars with me because that eliminates those 2 from getting the catalyst since they already have it. So that's his punishment. When he was showcasing and getting on my nerves in my face, he's doing little emotes like, oh, you mean this? This is what you want, this guy? I was like, boy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. But salute the Addict, man. I'll get that thing eventually.
Nice.
What about you, man? What you been playing?
Decent amount of Destiny. And then that may switch as soon as we get done with this. But we'll get to that later. But for now, my brother and I finished the dungeon. So we went full through.
Nice.
So Stonewolf and I made it through dungeon start to finish.
Wow, nice.
So I'd gone through the first couple encounters. Like basically up to the totem. And I knew what to do. I'd looked at a video or 2. He didn't really know what was going on. So basically, I just kind of let him lead the way on a couple sections. The best one was the ogres. I was like, all right. We literally, you drop down and you have, the 3 tunnels to go explore. I was like, all right, go explore. And somebody in chat was like, go explore, God. So he's wandering around. He's like, oh, giant ogre. I was like, all right. And then he tries to peek, and then he finds the enemies, and then we start roaming around and kind of steer him into it. Got Xenophage while we were in there, so finished that one literally at the same time.
Got a funny story to tell you about that. Shout out to Wilhelm Scream. I'll tell you my story afterwards. Oh yeah, we got it.
All right.
Oh yeah, you sure you want the story now?
Yeah.
I'll wait till
yours
after.
might be more entertaining than mine because mine seems very tame versus your quotes story. Sorry for those on audio.
Shout out to Scream, man. First of all, if you're not subscribed to Wilhelm Scream, please subscribe to this man. He's so cool, one of the coolest in the Destiny community. Met him through Ebontis, and we're just chilling one day, and I forgot he jumped in my Discord. He's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And I told him, all the stuff I was working on. He's like, did you get Xenophage yet? And I'm like, no. So he's like, oh yeah, I'll get it to you. We'll get it for you now in about 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. I was like, well, I haven't unlocked the dungeon. I still really haven't attempted all that stuff. I'm saving it. So he's like, no, don't worry about it. And sure enough, Wilhelm Scream finds a way. There's apparently a way to glitch in.
Oh, I actually have watched speedruns where people will do loading zone or something. Because I watched the speedrun. There's a world record speedrun out there of 5 minutes.
Wow.
Of the whole damn dungeon, which is crazy.
Wow.
But they use some loading skip. Is that what you ended up using?
No, this was just it was almost legitimately starting it. You legitimately started because you know how you get in there and then you kind of got to descend down onto the platform.
Yeah.
Right. So you're in the necropolis and you're starting to descend down, and then he knows a spot where it's a specific tower where you stand on, and then you kind of jump between the tower and the mountain or the crevice.
So you literally fall through the geometry.
And this joint he got, literally, and then what's crazy is you get to, I think, the ogre part that you're talking about. Is that the next sequence? Do you have to fight some witch at the bottom, and you have to kind of use the correct thing to get the element.
That's how you're supposed to, because it's in the ogre room. You have to find the right door. You have to clear the ogres out first. Then you run this thing around, hit all these little torch plates. Then the door opens. You go into the door. And then you the wizard. Yep.
Okay, so when we go down there, there's nobody. There's no ogres. There's no nothing there. The witch is there. But we get into that room with the witch. She's dead. You got to fight.
Yeah.
But you can't really fail the encounter, so to speak, even if all of us die kind of thing. So, yeah, we're just doing the thing. Everybody's getting the correct essence or whatever it is so that you can do DPS. And then once we got that part, I guess the final step for Xenophage was like, yep, okay, we got it. And then we went back to Erickson. It was like, here you go. And what's funny is I was like, I don't even want the gun because I was like, the gun's not no good. But then he's like, yo, they're going to buff it, which we'll talk about. And I was like, all right, you know what? Let me get it. So shout out to Blood Up Screen for my unofficial.
You haven't even unlocked the dungeon and you have Xenophage. Impressive, by the way. Far better than I did. I am a schmuck and did it the normal way. Jeez. Gotta send you over to Cheese Forever's YouTube channel.
I had no intention. I blame Scream. He was just like, look, man, I can make your life easy right now.
Shout out Scream if you listen to this one. You're a good man, sir, but you definitely broke the game for Cognito. We're supposed to see it normal. Don't ruin
I'm going to do it normal, though. I am going to do it normal. Salute to him.
That's awesome. Well, I'm a schmuck, and I did it the normal way. So there's that.
Yes.
But yeah, so the quest you kind of go through. You start a couple pieces outside the dungeon. You go in, and you're just kind of running around and trying to figure out where to go. And I had looked up a little bit, but I was just kind of mostly going by like where to go. And then I was kind of like, you got to the door section. I was like, all right, which door? And then I kind of peeked what door, and I was like, all right. So I was just trying to have my brother. This is where I was like letting my brother go first. So you do the necropolis. You kind of go down. You keep falling, and then you get to all the doors before you get into kind of the next section with the totems and stuff like that. And when you're doing the door section, there's the oryx, phallic projectiles that will kick you out of there. So I told him to go explore. I was like, hey, go run out that door. He's like, I'm not going to do that. He's like, I was like, I'll just do it. He's like, no, something's going to hit me. I was like, you're right. So I showed him what it looked like from his perspective. And then I was like, okay, you have like 15 doors. Figure out where to go. So he's like roaming around. Not a big fan of jumping. Finally figured out where we like proceed forward. And I was like, all right, there's a quest thing, and then he's like, take him up to that spot. Then we go through and do the ogre room.
Oh, I hate that spot. I know what you're talking. We had to do that, and yeah, they were getting annoyed with me. That jump. You talking about all those doors and the
like
thing,
15
and you got
hotel doors, and you got to get up to it.
Yes, yeah, the Marriott. I call that section the Marriott.
Yeah, and the Warlock's the best one to do it on. You guys are terrible.
Awful. It's awful. I was struggling, bro. And like literally, shout out to Scream. He's like, bro, turn your brightness all the way up. Because I couldn't see, and then he was literally having to shoot and throw grenades on where I need to go. Like, if it wasn't for Scream, I was not doing that part. My jumping was awful. The floof, I was falling off.
You've been drinking too much, so you got to stop that day drinking.
Continue.
But yeah, so it's a cool place. It's a cool encounter. Finished the whole thing. When we got to the final boss, I think it was just he and I the whole time, so 2-man the whole thing. We did 2-man the Xenophage boss, so the wizard. So we were like trying to figure out like I hadn't actually looked up the mechanics, and then we're like, okay, so we got the 4, and then we figure out the buff. You got to pick up the right buff to do damage to her, and then it was on the rotation. It was like, give me my machine gun or my super or something, because I wasn't set up with the right loadout. So we were working on her down. Then after that, I was like, okay, now we got to go do the totem. We did the totem on the first try.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother and I were just like, because I'd worked on the solo test, so I can do like dunking cycles by myself. I just haven't done all 6. Because that's a whole lot. Then a lot of things can go wrong. But with him, I was just like, all right, so what we're going to do. And it's honestly, if you're running with 2 or 3 people, this is the way you want to kind of do it. 2's not bad, actually. Because every knight you kill drops an orb. And like every shadow orb in any strike, it has like an internal timer. But if you pick it up and set it down, it resets. So all you got to do is just kind of like walk it back and forth across the totem. Like pick it up, set it down. Pick it up, walk it across, set it down. So, like, we would kill the first knight. I'm like, okay, I'll go get the first one. Okay, come back. Just taking it back and forth. I'm like, okay, I'll hold down the ads, find your knight that you want to go kill. Okay, we've dropped him together. You run out, pick it up, dunk. If you dunk, like, within about a second, basically as soon as you can, like, dunk, and then do it again, if you do them both together, you only get 1 phase of ads. Now, shout out to either Datto or Glad or some random video I watched. If you do them close enough together, you have only one phase of ads, which is nice because it's only one set of boomers, it's only one set of thrall, and it's a lot more manageable. So with the two of us, after I'd worked on most of that by myself, I brought in a bow, which still works, machine gun, and then good old Izanagi. Or really, actually, no, I would use, what did I use? I think I used my old Dread Adventure I got. It's just an old 72 sniper. It's got like rapid hit and rampage, so it just hits like a truck. So, yeah, between he and I, managed it first try. And then the boss fight.
Talk to me about that boss fight.
Boss fight's cool. Boss fight is cool. So, big boy, the encounters you learn in the Necropolis are what you use the mechanics of for the boss itself. Because you got to get 3 orbs to basically kick off the boss damage phase. One's the Shrieker, one's the Knight, one's the Wizard, so you got to block melee and range. Kill all those, dunk those, and then stand in the green section to kill the big boy. Well, when big boy's going on, he's throwing a couple like pools of fire on the ground, and it's always the crappy curse thralls that ruin your day.
Yeah, I hate that.
Curse thrall, man, they're just like, you're like, son
boom.
Every time. So, and I feel like that place, because this is recommended 940, I'm pretty sure that place is like, the end of it's probably like 980, because that place hurts.
Yes.
Like, that final fight hurts a lot. But, cool fight. I definitely know, depending on your damage setup, I know I saw Esoteric kill him in like 2 minutes. Or like one phase him in Insanity. Man's a beast.
Shout out to Skynet, man.
I saw your tweet.
He's just...
he's a beast.
He's amazing.
But yeah, that like, the fight itself is a patience game. More than anything else is just not rushing it. Because like, okay, so you got to kill a sword guy. Okay. Go run up, smack the guys. Just don't get too over the top. Like if I ever do like a solo flawless run, it's gonna be the totem part that kills me. It's not gonna be the final boss fight. I'll screw up the final boss fight by something dumb, getting greedy, like staying in the wrong stupid place. The totem's just like pure chaos for like 6 dunks. Like that's the hard part. But him, you're gonna be killing enough ads. You're bound to get enough ammo, sniper or something, to always be able to get some damage into the boss. And then if you use something like Oppressive Darkness, snipe, reload, Well of Radiance, or Bubble, Ward of Dawn, either one of those, grenade him, throw that, shoot him, go out, do the cycle again. Like, there's no timer in Rage, so you can just take as much time as you need.
You can take as much time you need. Gotcha.
Like, the solo flawless, I can see. Many people have done it already. I'm behind. But it can be done. So, it was really cool. I was like, I still haven't quite decided where it rates against Shattered Throne. But I think both are awesome dungeons in their own right. Like, like I don't know if one's overall.
You know me.
I don't know if one's overall better than the other. They both have cool encounters and experiences and feels to them. I enjoy both a lot. Like dungeons for me, low key, are probably like so far still both of them now my favorite thing in Destiny.
Let me ask you a reverse
psychology
Pit of Heresy. Let me ask you the reverse question. So, what do you think what aspect of Shattered Throne do you like better than Pit of Heresy? Is there any aspects of Shattered Throne that you like, okay, I like the way this was done a little better, or just maybe just, certain parts are more fun than maybe? Not that I'm trying to steer you that way. I just want to know because I see you still holding on to Shattered Throne. You ain't necessarily put Pit here. No. You're still kind of here and here with it, which is fine.
Good. So like Pit of Heresy, I really like the Ogre section versus like the Shadow Thrall section. Because you have sections where you're like limited on movement, you got to kind of have spots to hide, but the Shadow Thrall are just like kind of baby. They'll smack you around a little bit, but you're just slowed, so it's just like, okay, I just kind of got to hop over them and kind of take my little pauses. The Ogres is more of like intensity, like, oh, here it comes, slide back in the door, and it's like it's a little more hectic, like heart racing moment. So that one's actually kind of cool. As for the best way I can compare, like if you go fights, like Dolan Karus versus Zolmak, or whatever his name is, Zolmat, I think. You've got Vorgeth the Ogre versus the Totem is how I would compare those. And then kind of just the others are somewhat matched together. The opening section, like Necropolis, is a copy of Erebus, like the one I did the map. Necropolis is very similar. It's like, figure out which ones you got to go to, which runes do I need to unlock, take these here, do your mechanics. So there's a little more mechanics like with the sword, which I do like.
Yes, I like that part too, yeah.
The verticality of Necropolis looks cool, but when you're trying to go up to the top, you're like, I gotta get up there, let me go find a lift, jump over here, go past all the guys. I like the fact that Shattered Throne is just, you're gonna clear them all at some point, and you have to. The other one's
Right.
random, and you're like, okay, where do I go? Did I go to the wrong one? Crap, it's on the other side. So it's kind of an up and down thing there. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that one for official judgment.
He's still
But yeah,
undecided.
they're both good. They're good.
They're good.
Well made. That's all I'll say. I enjoy them both.
Shout out to Dramatic. He says he loved the Ascendant Realm. It's so cool and creepy.
Jarvinius, sir, welcome to it. Jarves, if you guys don't know his YouTube channel, I'm going to look it up and link it here in a second. But definitely find that man. Look him up. But yeah, anything else you've been doing lately?
Nah, man, I was doing that. I was doing a lot of banners, some festival. I'm almost finished with the whole Braytech thing. I finally started getting grinding, but I played a ton of Iron Banner, but before it was up, when it was up. And again, shout out to the team. Shout out to Scream, I believe Kaibatsu, Sinister, Addict. We were just in there wrecking shop, having a ball. And shout out to Pinnacles +2. Woo!
How's that
We haven't
going?
talked about that. It's fantastic, man. It is fantastic. Been really enjoying it. It felt good to get beneficial drops. So when I did my banners, had the 4, had the Pinnacles on deck. That felt good. I forgot what was the other thing.
Primes are dropping there too once you start leveling up, like 951, 952 primes.
Yes.
Like, okay, primes aren't totally useless. Thank you. Good job.
Yes.
I was worried that everything was going to be useless, but the primes kind of help fill holes, which is nice.
Yeah. It's been a nice slow grind with it, man. So again, really, it's a subtle change. Not everyone's gonna go crazy, but for me, I really, really liked it, man. But yeah, that's been pretty much it. Slowly now getting back into the swing. You know what I'm saying, of playing Destiny regular, and then again, we got a lot of stuff to talk about that I can't wait. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, that pretty much wraps up the past. Now, I don't think either of us have touched this game of that came out last week, the divisive, controversial package delivery balancing act.
Yeah.
So I haven't played
I'll
it
leave
yet.
that for you.
No, I haven't played it yet. I am very intrigued by Death Stranding, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. PlayStation game.
Yeah.
Some people may hate it. Some people may love it. You may think it's for you. You may not. Maybe vice versa.
Right.
But I have like a friend of mine, play with him all the time. Known him forever. I never expected him to enjoy it. And he is probably 3/4 of the way through this game. He's trying to beat it before he starts Star Wars, which we'll talk about later. But like Death Stranding is one of those, like, it's just, you hear all the I have never heard more interesting discussion. Like, is this for you? Is this a game? Is it art? It's like, it's been interesting to have something like that out in the wild, to be like, it's not a game where you just shoot stuff in the face. Like, so many games are that, and that just being so different is still kind of cool. So I'm intrigued. Don't know if I'll play it, but if you are enjoying out there, let me know somewhere in a tweet or comment. I'm curious.
Yeah, I will say this. This is probably, for as long as I've been gaming, and I'm old, I would say it's probably the most polarizing AAA game I've ever seen reviewed and commented on. I've never seen such stark disparity. You know what I mean? It's either like, again, it's art, it's unique, like you said, it's not just shooting things, dude broing or whatever. And I'll give it credit, the Decima engine, everything looks fantastic. And then I'm here the other side where it's just like, well, the core mechanics is, this is a UPS simulator and FedEx, you hear the jokes, obviously. So it's a subjective thing, you know what I'm saying? I think fun is subjective, I know for me, I don't think it's for me, based on what I've seen and stuff like that. But I know people like you and like your friend, you were saying, that's, I wouldn't even think would love something like, and they're like, yo, I'm engrossed, I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Shout out to Dramatic, so petty. Amazon delivery. The jokes are in. It's like, but we'll see. I think it's, I don't know if, I'm very curious to see what your feel is, because.
Yeah, whenever I get around to it, I'm really curious too, because it may be one, like, my friend may like an aspect of about it, and I may not, as, I don't know. It's one of those games I don't know, and even listen to, like, Podcast Beyond. Shout out to IGNs, like, those guys are always, like, kind of on the pulse, and they're even, like, it's not like I can say, it's not like God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like, this is an amazing game on all fronts, cool gameplay, story, narrative, feel, like, set pieces. It's it's its own thing, and it's like it may or may not be for everybody. And I just think that's been kind of Call of Duty came. Like, Call of Duty this year is actually pretty good, but we don't have Battlefield. We're missing, like, Assassin's Creed. We don't have our usual, like, lineups of things, but we have these other games coming that I'm very intrigued by, which is nice. Yeah. So it's been fun to kind of, like, want to be pulled away from Destiny for something. It doesn't happen as often. And there's a couple things right in this past like week and a half when I'm like, I need more time. I don't have enough time. Like, I'm literally like itching in my chair. I'm like, I want to play 3 games at the same time, and I don't have 12 hands. Like, oh my god,
me and you the same. And I'm sitting and I'm looking at my Outer Worlds, which that's my addiction.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. It's just I'm like, I don't have time for all these things. And then Destiny wants to do little things to get you back. It's tough, man. It's tough. I will say this last point before we move on is that with the new hard cap Pinnacle grind, I feel this allows us a little more time to at least attempt other things. Whereas before, I think the way the old chase was set up, we'd be so engrossed. Now we know, okay, it's just these pinnacles, it's just this activities kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Whereas before, I felt we were like a little bit more invested with the hardcore, end game grind. So that's just me. I don't know how you felt about that. How you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I am curious because there's like the floating theory out there of what's going to happen next season.
Yeah.
Are we going to go through the powerfuls and level up? Is the pinnacle grind going to get bumped? Is everything just going back down to like whatever your gear score is, and you just start over with the artifact only? Like, I mean, then what if so it's artifact only, but then your pinnacle can go up to like 970 for gear score over the season, and the artifact can go even higher. So it's like, I'm wondering, and they have not clarified that. And I think it's because I'm not entirely sure if they knew what they wanted to do with the levels when they started. Like, is next season going to be 50 level power cap, and then it's the pinnacles 1010? Seems like I don't know if they're going to make that leap yet. So we're not that far away from the next season, and I honestly don't know how that pinnacle grind is going to continue, because they have not once ever confirmed. Because that's listening to the Ragels Roundtable, it's like Paul Tassi, his is like, how do you not have powerful gear, all these different activities level you up for another 50 levels?
Right.
And this is the whole like grassy knoll thing.
That's
it's like
debate.
You say one and then the other. But on the other side, Lono was sitting there saying, it's like, okay, so how do they want to make these a la carte seasons not feel people are like 100 power levels behind if they jump into season like 10, skip Season of Dawn, come in, and they still feel like they can jump into it? And I'm like, I don't know how to answer both of those questions with the same answer. It's like, I don't.
It's tough. It's tough. The only thing I can think, if you kind of meet in the middle, is they do what Tassie said, which is just kind of the traditional way that we're used to playing Destiny. Right. That's the only thing I was thinking. I was thinking they'd have to do what they did, like how when they started Drifter, they started Menagerie. You go to the NPC, there's some mini quest that gives you the blues that get you to the light where you need. I don't see them abandoning that. I think that kind of, that's just my theory. I think they've kind of established that that's a problem when a new expansion comes out. You're always going to have people who either skipped or missed. Yep. So here's a way, boom, fast track them, get them up to whatever it is, 950, 960, whatever it is, and then maybe they do it that way. We'll see. It is interesting.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it's like the debate of, okay, well, how worth it is the pinnacles? Because in 3 weeks, then I'm just going to pass it up in my first 3 blues. Like, that's where the debate of the pinnacle grind, if these things, I think they had the math wrong. The +2 feels a little better, makes it a little more attainable. Right. Some people got there really fast.
Yes.
You do 3 raids, get some good drops, get a decent nightfall, heavy drop, and you can move pretty fast. So it's like, is that what it was supposed to be? And then it's like, okay, here's a little boost for the pinnacles and then more. Or was it supposed to be ultra slow? So it's just like, I'm very curious to see when we're told what that will be. Because I'd like to just know officially, like, how's this going to work in the future? So then you can actually plan around. Like, do I care about the pinnacle? Do I not? Is it worth the extra 10 for a little bonus, or do I take little breaks? Like, until now, I don't know. So that's
I think they're redefining it, bro. That I got this gut, but I think I've kind of alluded to it the last couple of last words. I think they're redefining the pinnacle grind as more. I don't want to say just bragging rights, but I almost feels like, if you want to do it, for a little light bump, that's your hardcore end game, and you keep playing your chase, you do that. But I think they're cool with, like, because the fact that there's not a amount of pinnacle sources leads me to believe that this is the new philosophy change. Again, I could be reaching, but it just feels that way. It feels just like, yo, you at 950, you good, but if you want this extra stuff, you want to still keep going, you got something to brag about because you did X, Y, and Z. And the only thing I'm hoping is that it's sufficient enough for the hardcore to say, hey, I'm cool with this. Or let's see how it goes on. We got to see how it plays on. From Season of Dawn is going to answer so many questions,
And speaking of that, we know nothing about it.
Zero.
We don't know a damn bit of anything related to that. We can speculate. We can hope it's related to your Mercury favorite man of all time.
I know.
Whatever it is, we don't know anything. It is not that far away.
I know. How far? How many? Where's that calendar? We got to pull that up.
We are 3 weeks left in the season as of Tuesday. So this Tuesday, so 4 days from now, the season has 3 weeks left. Another thing we don't know anything about that starts on Tuesday is, are we going to have a tower? Are there going to be goblins roaming the tower? Are we going to kill the Undying Mind? And a lot of times, is it us? The Vex Final Assault starts on Tuesday, and we got nothing, not an iota of information in the TWAB about the final event, which, go ahead.
Can I say I'm a little disappointed that Vex Offensive is not a pinnacle activity.
How would you make it pinnacle?
Either.
So, like, you've got Raid, you've got the Dungeon,
right.
You've got Master Nightmares, Master Nightfalls. How do you make Vex? Would you want another difficulty?
It's just,
I don't. The normal one doesn't justify. That. Like, the normal one to me doesn't justify pinnacle because, like, you can trip through that thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that the way it's currently constructed at its difficulty, but yeah, just like, I guess what bothers me about it is that I feel like every other season prior, when the new activity was introduced, like Menagerie and Drifter had. Reckoning and all that.
Armory.
I felt that was low key endgame, and I find myself not even caring about Vex Offensive. Not that I hate the activity, but it's like, why am I going to go in there? What is the benefit? Like, I literally don't do it anymore. I was going to ask you this question: are you doing Vex Offensive these days? No, right? So it's
I mean, that's a legitimate question. Is like, how do you keep people engaged, especially where the power cap is set up? You get to 950, it works as a decent tier 2. You're working with that core for the tier 3 drop. You get both of those. Police coming through. Yeah, it's fine. So you get those, but then when you get to 950, you know it's not pinnacle. And what are you working on then? You're working on ritual weapons. You're working on pinnacle drops. You're doing raids. You're doing dungeons. You're doing other stuff. But you're not going to Vex Offensive unless you just want a roll on a weapon. And after a point, you're probably like, I may have had what I want or I don't, but that's really your only reason in there. And it's like, that just begs the question of, what is their philosophy on the seasonal activity? How big is it going to be? Is it meant to be just like, hey, here's this thing that moves the story forward? Or is it meant to be something that keeps you engaged? I honestly, I like you. I'm with you. Like, give me another difficulty. Give us a pinnacle version. Maybe the Vex Assault, maybe the Final Assault is.
Maybe.
Because you got to kill the Undying Mind 3 times for one of the triumphs.
Right.
So if 3 times is hard to do, then maybe it's like a pinnacle thing towards the end of the season.
I hope so, man, because I really think the way it was handled was a misstep. And there should be no reason why we get this cool new. I mean, I'm not saying it's the greatest. We've kind of ranked it in between Menagerie and it's in the middle, right? So it's just like, damn, like, to not even be, for me not to even go in there, because I sat there and I'm like, why am I not playing this? Now look, there's no pinnacle, like, there's nothing.
Well, okay, you gotta tell me. Somebody in chat, tell me if I'm wrong too. There's not even a powerful drop, it looks like, from it anymore. That was a thing.
Yes.
Like, did that change dungeon launch week maybe?
Possibly.
Because I was like, I don't know why. Because it was at a point, it was a powerful drop. Now powerful drops aren't helping me anymore per se.
Right.
But it was still a powerful up until 4th week.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, for one, that shifted. Maybe it's getting ready for the Vex fight. Like, again, this is the question mark in the background that we don't have answers to.
Right.
And I just honestly don't know. So
yeah,
I am.
Yeah, it's a shame.
So I'm curious. How do you think? because they've said nothing about Vex Final Assault. How do you think, is it just going to be log into Chaos in the tower, or just start with a quest? Like, they're not going to tell us, we'll figure it out. Is it truly just, hey, everybody, let's see what this thing's all about? Do you think that's how it's going to go?
It feels like the narrative build up. Obviously, we see Akora building that thing, and I love that aspect of what they're doing. I love every time you log in on Reset, and you're like, wow, like this thing is happening, something's happening. So it would be cool. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but so far they've been cool with when the dungeon was launched. We got our Eris little cinematic. Yep. It would be cool if we got just a brief cinematic, maybe Vex in the tower, whatever is going to happen. And yeah, we just go at it. The key is, fighting the undying mind, right? We know in the Triumph 3 times, what have you. Again, is it going to be Pinnacle drop worthy? Where's the activity going to take place? I do have some questions to see how that's handled. This is pretty much like the last event, right?
Oh, this is the end of the season. There's nothing else.
There's nothing else after. So they've got to end this right. They got to end this right, because I think me and you, the jury, let's say the jury's still out on Shadowkeep as a whole until we get past this point.
Yeah.
And then we can really I think it's safe to say we love Shadowkeep. We don't hate it.
No.
But I think the way it ends is going to really also play how we rate this thing now in the grand scheme of expansions.
Yeah, you can't read the book. You can't rate a book until you read all the chapters.
Until you read the chapter.
A quarter of the book so far. So.
Right, but we've all said we love Garden of Salvation. We think Garden of Salvation is strong. We all love Pit of Heresy. You know what I'm saying? Obviously there was a couple of missteps. There's still no vendor refresh. Still Crucible needs to be where it needs to be and stuff like that.
That's a whole debate.
That's a whole other debate. We'll last word that forever. But the jury, I think they need to end strong. If they end strong, put the cherry on the Sunday, then it's like, okay, boom, Shadow keeps up there with a lot of the greats, right? A lot of the ones that those expansions we revere. So yeah, I'm very curious, man. I'm very curious to see what happens there. It's gonna be interesting this final Vex offensive, so to speak, to see what they do.
Yep. So Tuesday is gonna be big. Portal open, new quest, and then do you think it's gonna be back in the same place we did the Vex offensive, or do you think it's gonna be like a different Vex area? Think they're gonna bring us back into the Undying Mind Strike? Like, do you think it's actually going to be a different? Are they going to reuse the same assets they've built, or do you think we're actually going to see new things? I'm curious.
I think they have to do something new in the sense that, again, he stressed. Shout out to our boy Luke.
Yeah.
But Luke said, it's the way these seasons are going to play out is you should have been there when. This is supposed to be the you should have been there when moment, right? Whereas, she's building this thing. They're supposed to have a story conclusion. And, we're supposed to shout out to the cars that keep coming by. They're supposed to have, it's crazy. Traffic's crazy today. But, it's supposed to be, a nice conclusion. So I'm putting a little pressure on them. They gotta do this thing right, man. They gotta do that. I mean, if they use, I'll be a little disappointed if it's a typical, what we've already been doing kind of Vex.
I mean, I'm with you on that one. It's kind of the way Black Armory, the first one, was like, hey, this is a cool forge. But there was not a lot of variation to the forges besides it was a different shaped room. I mean, Black Armory I enjoy. They're fun. They're cool mechanics. You're fighting the enemies. You're throwing the balls. You kill the boss in the end. But it's not like any of them had anything different. Even if, I honestly just wish when you got to Berguzia, there was 2. Yeah. You kind of had to hit them both. Or there was some tweak to even the final one for Black Armory was a big misstep for me, because it's you go through all the big crazy door puzzle situation, you open it and it's the same thing, and I'm like, I want something else in there besides just a spider tank. Give me more. So same thing here. It's if it's Vex Final Assault and then the only thing different at the top is the Undying Mind, I'm going to be let down too.
We gotta see, man. We gotta see. All right, if they do that, I better get some cool cinematics. I better get something.
Or maybe
I better get
go
something.
Up and you fight, because up at the top there's that little portal in Vex Offensive.
Yes.
Am I calling it the right thing?
I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you fight the boss, on the upper deck, there's a portal where you finish and kind of where the chest is. Maybe you go through the Vex Assault and you go through that to go face something, and it's a longer version of Vex Offensive is the Final Assault, where you have to push farther. maybe that's a thing. I don't know, but that portal seems in a weird spot. Otherwise, maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, they got to do something, man. They got to do something.
We won't know till Tuesday, so stay tuned to all the streams and stuff. We'll be doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So yeah, Tuesday is a big giant question mark. The next season is still a big giant question mark in most aspects, but we do have a little tease about the Sandbox changes that are coming.
Ooh.
Sir, would you like to talk about some changes that people expected but may not be the happiest about depending on how you play this game?
Should I start with seeking balance? Is that our paragraph, sir?
Yeah, that's the one.
Right on time. Yeah, so from the development team, man, over the last year, we made some changes to the sandbox of Destiny 2. Some weapons have been brought down, some armor have been brought up, and the meta has shifted from class to class. Coming next season, the sandbox will evolve once more. This week, we'll be looking at 2 notorious items. I like notorious. I like that you may have heard about. Exhibit A, the Recluse. Change the
This gun is perfect.
What could possibly be wrong with the
Recluse? This is a perfect submachine gun. I heard about this in a phone call. It's a perfect submachine gun.
Oh, how dare they? Let me stop. Change the effects of Master of Arms. Remove the precision damage modifier. Recluse will continue to receive a damage bonus from Master of Arms, but damage will not default to precision values when the perk activated. And then they go into it as the thought process. Many doubted the Recluse when it was first announced. That is true. But it has since proved to be resilient to being squashed. Although the precision damage modifier did not actually improve the efficacy. How do you pronounce that word? Efficacy? Efficacy, I always butcher that word. Efficacy of the weapon at its best. It did allow for fairly mindless spraying to be just as good as concentrated aiming. After considering various options on what to do with it, the decision was made to remove the part of the functionality and preserve the activation methods. The alternative was leaving in an effect we believe was too strong for a legendary weapon. Let's go E.
Oh, no, you go. I want to know your thoughts, man.
Oh, you want me to get it? Okay.
Yeah, you go. You jump right in. This is all you. You were excited. Let's get to it.
Yeah, listen, man. Not excited about a nerf, so to speak. So shout out to my Recluse lovers. I mean, we knew this day was coming, guys. Like, I mean, it's to the point.
It's not
and this one, you know. Like, I've always felt whenever you play Destiny and you're stuck in one loadout because it is by far the most efficient loadout, and y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's most likely Izanagi and Kinetic, Recluse in Energy, and most likely a Swarm on the Raven. Which, oh, by the way, I got my first Swarm with spike grenades.
Hey,
got to tell you that.
Woo!
I forgot to tell you that. I've joined the club. Thank you, Saladin. Salute. Yes. So
Bar has given it to you.
He's finally blessed me after like 5 Iron Banners, but enough of that. But yeah, you either got your Swarm, some form of a grenade launcher, you know, in that spot, holding you down. And don't get me wrong, from efficiency standpoint, it makes sense. You're silly not to do any pinnacle activities with that kind of loadout. But again, I always feel Destiny is always more fun when you have that variety. And again, coming back to Recluse is super strong. Anything procs the Master of Arms. And the precision damage modifier, I mean, it's gonna play different. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think they would actually, I thought they was gonna do the opposite, to be honest with you. I thought they would like eliminate Master of Arms proccing off of any type of kill.
No.
And then leave the damage modifier alone. So it is interesting the way they handle it, and I'm curious, do you think, in reference to the way that has been nerfed, is that the correct call? Because one of my other theories was maybe they just make it exotic, but they never seem to do that strictly to an OP legendary. So I'm actually very curious about what you think about this.
I mean, they've seemed to clarify a little bit. So it says the precision damage modifier, basically it just seemed like whether you hit the body or the head, it would be precision damage once you crack Master of Arms. And that's something I really can't say I knew. If that was actually how that works, that's how that goes. That was actually clarifying for me. But then also it's like, so if you go for precision shots, you still get precision damage. But you actually do have to aim. You just can't spray and hit him in the toe, the kneecap, and the thigh and still do the same amount of damage. You actually have to aim for the head to kill him quicker. So the time to kill is still probably going to be quick because it spews bullets still really fast. I'm honestly going to be curious because range doesn't seem to be touched. The proccing still is going to be there. And the damage, if you're accurate, potentially could be the same kill time, if not like next to a bullet close. So I'm really not sure it's going to change a ton. You just can't spew all over a body and kill it in the same speed. You got to aim for the part that matters.
That matters, right? Which is fine.
That sounded
as far as,
much worse than I intended it to.
salute to morals and standards.
Yeah, FCC coming over here and be like, I do not believe this podcast is approved for the children.
For the children. Yeah, man. Listen,
muffs.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting. It almost feels that they kind of went delicate with it in the beginning. And, like, this seems to be the new mentality, right? Like, do a little delicate nerf first, see how it's received, for the most part. And then if it's still acting up, which we will talk about with our next culprit, then they go in extra hard after the second or third one. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's still going to be pretty powerful, I agree. You know, they basically just aim for the head. Aim for the head. Just don't mindless spray. You're still going to get a lot of, efficient kills with it. And like I said, like he said, it's still going to proc. You're still going to have that range. We'll see how much this truly... Put it this way. I don't know if this going to truly deter people from not using it.
Yeah. It seems like a small wing clip as opposed to, like, taking the wings off. Like, it's a very minor tweak. And this comes from nerfing stuff into the ground and having to bring it back. They're trying not to completely gut something. They're trying to slowly edge it in place. Now, the fact that it takes a season to slowly edge something in place since it's been around for a year is weird. At some point, you'd think they'd figure this out. So that's the balance. It's like, if you're going to go baby steps, do them faster. Like, that just kind of seems the thing. So I don't know, to be honest. Like, if this thing gets taken down a little bit, I'd like to see Redrix and Breakneck back up a little too, because those got hit too hard on the other side. So if you feel like you overdid it, hey, we're gonna buff these two back up a little bit, see if they kind of get back into a place they should be. It's like they focus so much on some. I feel like others, I feel like Breakneck and Redrix are not really going to be doing much for a while because they're just like, hey, they're pinnacles. We don't want to make them too good again. They're out of the meta. They were never really too strong. We're not going to touch them. And then, unfortunately, that means you're not going to get too much use out of them, sadly.
Yeah. Again, let's see. Yo, the chat right now. Yo, there's a lot of shout out to the Breakneck love, man. I love seeing that. Everybody's like,
it was like Breakneck was murdered. Rip.
Yeah. I love Breakneck, man. And it does pain me to see it like that, especially Redrix as well. Just, they got to do something with the turnaround time. It just sucks. It seems like the cadence is still one major Sandbox update per season. Kind of thing. And you just wish they'd be a little bit more agile on that. I mean, provided resources are there, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we got one more.
What? There's more changes coming? That's too much, sir.
Yes. We had two more. But one-eyed masks. Titans over all the world are rejoicing right now. Change the effects of vengeance.
A lot of them would use, but it's fine.
Well, the Warlocks and the Hunters
and Carriers. I never really used it. I'd probably use this thing like maybe 5 matches in my life. I've never used it, so not much.
Really?
I don't live off of this thing, no. Now, I'm not saying I'm like shooting myself in the foot by not, but I really have never used it much. Like maybe
one of those
5 or 6
Titans
games.
with honor. Honorable Titan, respect you.
I think my mountaintop took away my honor.
No doubt. Oh yeah. We saw that. Yeah. We saw that fly. So yeah, change the effects of vengeance. Remove the overshield granted from defeating opponent that inflicted damage on you. In a previous Sandbox update, One-Eyed Mask received some tuning in how vengeance was applied to Titans. Next season, this perk will continue to provide health regeneration when defeating an opponent that has inflicted damage upon your Guardian, but it will no longer grant an overshield. Additionally, the team is addressing some feedback concerning the newly released Xenophage exotic. And we're going to talk about Xenophage. Increased PvE damage by 50%. Damage pulled from PvP crates has been increased to 4 to 6 from 3 to 4. from change and solo heavy ammo crates respectively. Xenophage unintentionally shipped a little weak, so it's getting a bump in raw damage. Machine guns have a higher ammunition capacity than any other heavy weapons, trading raw DPS for ease of use. Xenophage slides further down other heavy weapons slides further towards other heavy weapons such as grenade launchers in that aspect, but didn't get enough power back. This will correct that. And then they said in the next few weeks we'll have further Sandbox patch notes paired with some quality of life changes to things like escalation protocol armor, bug fixes, and more. Nice. So let's get those two, man. One-Eyed and Xeno, where we at?
I mean, everybody's talked about One-Eyed forever. I mean, shotgun aping with a Titan will slow down for sure. I mean, it absolutely will. So it's like if you're going to get a shotgun kill, you're not going to get a kill, get an overshield, pick up special ammo, and go run and do it again. Now, you still have the tracking. You still get healing.
Yes.
So you're not exactly, and they're still stronger after they kill you, too?
That is a good question. The only thing I seemed to mention was the health regeneration. But I don't know about the stronger part.
Because that's the way the buff typically works. They just said they remove the overshield. But if you're still stronger after you get a kill by somebody who killed you, still powerful. You can see through walls. Again, these both feel minor versus something that are major outliers. So in my mind, we'll have to see, and I just don't know if they're enough. Either of these to really move to shift them out of the meta. I mean, if you're still going to get healing, see through walls, and if you kill somebody, you're going to be more powerful. That's still pretty friggin' amazing. Like,
it's still good.
You just don't get an overshield, so...
I have a comment on that when you finish.
Go. I'm curious, because for me, it doesn't seem like it's still going to, like, hit it that hard, to me.
I hear your sentiment. I'm on the other side. I think the problem I had was the overshield, because it was like, they're so tanky at that point. It's like when you confront your one-eyed mass killer. When you see him and he's got that green bar, it is demoralized. You know you are not winning that engagement. And God, with the damn trucks today. Anyway, sorry.
Like
it's crazy. Yeah, that's like they doing the Indianapolis 500 of it. But anyway, so my whole thing is, I think that definitely helps them from being super over aggressive. Yes, they still can track you, which is powerful. I give you that. They still know where you are. That is a huge, huge deal. I guess for me, health regeneration kind of plays like Devour to me, so that at least if you shoot them, it'll stop the regen. You know what I'm saying? But if you shoot someone with that overshield, it's tanky. You're not really gonna be able to get through. So. Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at with it. I mean I felt it was a decent nerf. I got to see how it plays. I again, the other things you're saying make sense, but I think I actually like it. I want to see how it plays out. I think I'm on the other side. I think this still is going to be strong, but not crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's because, shout out to Daniela. She said the amount of times I'm shooting the blank out of a Titan charging at me MVP, the boom shot. Oh, he's talking about shoulder charge. Yeah, that's another. Don't even get me started with that one.
Don't get us started on that.
We already split. The realm, everyone knows how the last word feel, the ninja and the cheetah feel about said shoulder charge. But
Ninja's over there, got to use some speed. Ninja's over there being all sneaky with his little...
Oh, don't you start. I'm restraining myself.
Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. We're not going to discuss that. But, it's Xenophage. Yeah, I mean, let's call it what it is. Xenophage was hot garbage. Like, I'm like...
feel right. Like, okay, this is where I have an issue. You release an exotic, the bug gun, Xenophage, sounds all the bug stuff in there. Hype it up, have the replica at Guardian Con, and it comes out like it's shooting peanuts. Like, I don't get it. I don't know how you let a gun come out that week. How do you test a gun enough and it be like, yeah, this is fine. The whole world's like, this feels like trash. Are you sure?
Trash.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Ship it. Are you sure?
I agree.
Product manager? Project manager. Director of product. Okay. Everybody's signing off. Yep. I don't get it. Like, somehow
that was bad.
It's like, did somebody miskey a number and it's like, this is supposed to do 20,000 damage and it's doing 10. It's like, it's weird. And
Somebody messed up big
it's
time.
still a machine gun, and a machine gun having like 30 bullets. I'm sorry, but I don't really care how hard it hits. It doesn't feel right.
Bro, I've never listen.
That thing needs to have like 50 bullets and have the 50% buff.
Yeah,
Something.
like again, 50%. I mean, in its defense, 50% damage just sounds strong. You know, we got to see how to play. But again, I'm like you, E. Like, do we really see ourselves putting this in our exotic slot? In heavy, are we really gonna stop taking? What's the top tiers? Are we gonna take out our legendary
You got Delirium, Hammerhead.
Like
I mean, edgewise, all three of those cover your types of damage, and they have a ton more shots. Because I mean, the big thing about machine guns, the benefit of them for me, especially doing some of the dumb stuff that I do, is the ability to kill rank and file like red miners. With just like a bullet here and a bullet there. Well, if I only have 30 bullets, I feel like I can't be as free because I don't need to one-shot them with a mini rocket launcher. I still need to one-shot them with just a heavy bullet, not, a depleted uranium round that's gonna freaking explode. Like, so and no crit damage. What?
Yep, I was just
Jarvinia said that one.
Jarvinia said it. That's literally what I was about to say next. It's like the no crit damage to me is more egregious.
That still bugs me. That should not be.
Why?
And that's more.
I would rather them not even.
That takes away from the accuracy. Otherwise, I may as well just shoot him in the chest the whole time.
Shoot a foot, exactly. So it's like, why would you even do that? So again, if my thing is this: if I'd rather them put in the crit damage, and leave the ammo low. So at least we know for those few shots it's gonna hit crazy with the plus 50.
Yeah, if I'm gonna hit a boss with 30 bullets, they better hit like Mack trucks every time.
Yeah, every time. You know what I'm saying? And then what else we got? What's the competition? We got Breath now of Leviathan. We got Leviathan Breath in there. We got what's our still heavies of choice these days? We still got Whisper. You know what I'm saying? We still got Sleeper.
Whisper. You got well, Izanagi's is probably stronger than this thing. It's a damn kinetic.
But in fairness to the heavy slot, what's the competition if we're looking at it objectively?
So it's not the fastest thing. So you still can pump out a bazillion bullets with like Delirium, especially if you get 200 in a clip. You're just literally sending a spray of bullets for 200. And you don't have to stop for a while. It doesn't hit as hard. But I will be very curious if you go like 100 bullets of. I need to do like math damage and go shoot Greg with this thing whenever. Because even with 50% more damage, still don't think it's going to matter. It doesn't feel like it's enough. I'm
going to be real with you, E. This is probably the worst debuting exotic I've seen from them. I'm hard-pressed to find too many exotics. I wouldn't say this thing was super hyped, but it had a little, like you said, we was at GuardianCon, we saw the...
They've been hyping. You're not saying...
Yeah, you're right. I'm being nice.
No, they were like, hey, it's this thing. It was on the calendar. It's not. Where's it at? It's part of the dungeon quest. Now, granted, as I said before, the Wish Ender bow also doesn't blow me away. And that one came from the dungeon. So what is up with these dungeon exotics getting the shaft?
Yes, what's going on, man? Shout out to my boy Speed of Light Pen. He says Sleeper Sim actually needs my man. I've been on the same type of time, man. Like at least the PvE damage or whatever. But anyway, you're right. Tons of hype for this thing. It's now gonna fall into that Wish Ender category. And it's like
that was a fun quest. Like, the quests are more fun than the gun is to use. That doesn't... Why? Why is that a thing? These are, like, some of the coolest things you go through and get. And then you get them, you're like, well, it's fun.
Yeah, bro. You want incentive to go back in there, right? You want those crazy... Like, this should have been 1,000 voices level, like, right? Yeah. Like, this should have been that. Like, that, to me, is what you throw behind a dungeon. Like, you don't throw this... Little, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm gonna be nice. Let's see what the 50% do.
This coming from the guy who didn't even get it the real way.
I had no Scream lit. He's like, "Bro, I can get you it quick." I'm like, "Yeah, but do I really want it?" And then he's like, "Dude, I can get it for you right." I'm like, all right. So let's do it.
So
it was like
your
labor
efforts,
of love.
It's probably worth it easily for your efforts. Took you 15
minutes. Yeah, for my
and
efforts.
you tripped in through the geometry. Took me and my brother a little longer. So
I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. The real way is just, it's not it, man.
It's like it's a cool method. The dungeon's awesome, and then we get a gun that, like, I don't know, 50% damage bonus plus crits. If I've only got 30 bullets, they all need to hit like a mini sniper. They do.
There we
They have
go.
to hit hard.
There we go, bro. Shout out to Vagabondo. The Witch Hunter Boat was required to get all those eggs and trout. Yeah, like they gotta buff these things, man. Buff those other exotics, man. That really need that level to be able to compete. We need that, man. We want other options, you know what I'm saying? Especially harder content. We got to get more of that. So that is me.
So yeah, we've got One-Eyed Mask and Recluse, big outliers, hopefully being brought back down-ish. We'll see how those land. Xenophage getting bumped up-ish. We'll see where that one lands.
Yep.
All in all, though, like these are some pretty minor tweaks to some major outliers, and then we know we're gonna have some sandbox changes. We'll get some tweaks. We know I bet Solar's probably gonna get looked at because Solar's gonna be part of the Season of Dawn. So there's going to be some look at there.
Yes.
Overall, kind of a weird time in Destiny.
Yeah.
We're in this little limbo phase before the final assault. We don't know what's coming next. We're not entirely sure where the level cap's going to move or not. With the reset, the mods are going away. So it's this weird, like, 3 weeks before, how much more effort do I put in until kind of a nice little slate cleaning on most of it. Not all of it, but a lot of it gets wiped away.
Yeah, right now, as it currently sits, still Forsaken, #1 for me. I'm just looking as of currently, because the book's not finished. Still Taken King, #2. Right now, it's in the battle. Shout out to my boys, Speed of Light. It's in the battle with Rise of Iron right now. And how it ends is going to say a lot, because I think it's right there. There's a lot of things that Shadowkeep does a little better with the activities, but then there's a lot of things with longevity that I still feel are being done there. The raids are fairly even. I think a lot of people really love Wrath. I'm never going to disrespect Wrath. I love Wrath too. Right, Wrath is really cool. I like Garden, to be honest. I do like Garden Salvation, so that's a good debate. But in Shadowkeep's defense, Shadowkeep has that pit of heresy. You know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. Yep. We got to see. It's coming down to the wire for third place. So who's the third? And this is not like a bad thing. It's just that, listen, Forsaken and Taken King, bro. Come on. Those changed the game. So right now, Dizzy, stop it. Shadowkeep made my cancer work almost.
There. Come on, keep it above board. Let's go.
Dizzy's so disrespectful. Yeah. Right now, it's battling for my third favorite DLC from Destiny. This is a fool. Where are you at? Where's your rankings?
Probably in the same boat. I mean, I like what the artifact has potential for. Because the mods, the reloads, the champions are kind of cool. They're their own thing. You've got these like oppressive darkness and unfortunately broken hunters in PvP and stuff like that. So like there's all over the place, but I like the idea of some stuff that is just like cool. Like it's temp if they break it, okay. If it's not, maybe they put it in later. I love the dungeons, man. We get a dungeon and a raid and the moon.
And a raid, yeah. We got
and then you think about you go Rise of Iron and you go you go the Plague Lands, which was cool, but not as big as the moon. And Wrath is cool. Garden also cool. First time through those fights.
Yeah, I like Garden, man. I do like it.
So I think, but then I have other glaring things staring at you.
Yes.
Vendors just are like sitting there with their thumb up their butt, like I'm just over here chilling, giving you the same guns. Like Devrim K is not doing anything. Now they mentioned in that in the TWAB about like escalation protocol armor and stuff like that, and I was like, okay. Is this like are those gonna start to get stat rolls? Like quality of life changes to things like escalation protocol armor. Like you don't have to go to rank 7, or you can work on it just like a random roll, and you don't have to wait on the 5-week rotation. Maybe that's what they're talking about. And then this is where they take like a step forward and a step back at the same time. Stats on the armor for me is like it's cool. But also, many people have pointed out, the only good places for stats seem to be Iron Banner. I don't even know if the raid's a guarantee. Like, raid armor is not even dropping. Like, the Pinnacle drops specifically, too. Oh, the Dreambane's the worst. The dungeon armor, when you get it at the end, the Dreambane armor, I got a Masterworked. So that's with the plus 12.
With the plus 12.
60. It was a 48
Oh, no.
roll. So, like, the Dream Bane is, like, forced to be low. And that's one thing I've been listening to Say No to Rage.
Rage's Roundtable. Yeah.
He seems to think, like, Yeah, Faction Rallies is another one. That's a whole different
Trials.
ball of wax. Yeah, I heard you.
What'd he say? Yeah, what'd he say about shout out?
It's just like the Dream Bane armor. It's like will not roll high. Like it doesn't seem to be, and that's one thing with me that is bugging the living hell out of me. Is like if you want to go for a good stat roll, there's not a lot of places to say, "Hey, I want to go for some play. I want to go somewhere where I can roll good." Whether it's a 950 Nightfall, whether it's a Master, I don't have incentive to go do some stuff right now and bash my head against something ridiculous because say I do get some gloves. What if it's like a 51 stat roll and it's kind of trash? Like there's no place to say this is where you level. This is where you take it to the next tier. Like if you're tier 10, I want to go to tier 11. I want to go a little step above. I don't need to break it, but I need to work on stat mod. And that's just like that's one of those things where it's like it's bugging me.
Yeah, I'm with I'm with
bugging
you.
Me
and
a lot.
I think
Sorry,
shout out to Dramatic. He said he got the
venting.
71. No. This is good vents, bro. This is what we've been talking about, right? We need Pinnacle. If you're limiting Pinnacle sources, then damn well them Pinnacle drops better be powerful.
Seriously,
they better be. People need to be envious of the drops that you get from these sources. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that is a big deal. I didn't even realize that the dungeon armor was that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a bit little much. So yeah, they got to clean that up. That's why I said they need to end strong. They need to end strong so they can maintain. Otherwise, we may have to reevaluate their ranking. You know what I'm saying? But again, not a terrible DLC by any means. Not saying like this.
No. I mean, overall,
we literally like the term.
I've enjoyed a lot of what's been there. The opening, the cinematics, the missions, the memories, the moon, the Vex invasion gives the moon this nice like influx and change. The Vex offensive was cool. We got the pit. We got the garden. Like, we got a lot. We
love the narrative.
We love $35. We got
for $35.
Crap load of stuff.
And we love the narrative beat. We love the narrative beat from the start of the season, Space Doritos. We loved all that. You know what I'm saying? End strong, maybe cool. I'm not going to be greedy and be like, oh, they need some type of secret thing like because they've given us a lot. Like I'm not going to say they need a 0 hour or something like that. Nothing like that. Yeah. But, end strong narratively. Whatever you decide, please make it cool. And yeah, hopefully they'll add a little more drops, throughout. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I'll spread out another couple of Pinnacle drops throughout, maybe hopefully with this Vex offensive activity as well. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Some more Pinnacles, but yeah, the big thing for me is stats and affinities. I'm still kind of here or there. I guess it wouldn't matter as much on affinities if I knew there was at least some chats the stats would be decent outside of Iron Banner. Iron Banner is literally all my best stats.
Yeah.
That is the only ones that are like typically 57, 58, 59 base. And those I might actually like take, but I'm not going to go, spend this ridiculous 100,000 ridiculous currency on something that's like, oh, it's a 52 stat roll. Not even going to, I won't even consider it. It's no point.
I agree.
And the worst part is I went through my item manager because I hadn't deleted all my old armor.
Yeah.
Some of my old armor now has defaulted to 60s.
Wow.
Yeah. I have 60s on old armor. And I'm like, okay, I'll use, some of those have some decent rolls, like sniper rifle targeting and scavenger or reserves with, a 60 stat roll. That's better than anything I see. If they want us to shift, those should not be that way. For one, that's weird for the old one, but two, the new one should have an option. So,
and for the love of God, bring the enhanced mod costs down. Some of these targeting mods and some of these mods,
for 6.
Bruh, 6? Come on! You lock that person in. You know what I'm saying? If you're a guy that's not using your ascendant, whatever those things are, prisms or whatever it is, if you're in that. I would say I'm in that. If I like something, I'm in that 7 range.
Yeah.
8 is when I push it.
I have not.
8 is if I love it.
Spent anything at 8 yet.
Wow.
I've only taken it to 7 because I have enhancement cores, but the prisms. What do I have? 11 or 12. I don't love anything enough to go.
Nothing. No exotics though.
those are even more expensive. Those cost more prisms. I have honestly not that many great exotics. Nothing's like helped a build. They've all been kind of outliers of just they're technically yes an exotic with an okay roll, but I don't usually find a lot of use for the ones I've got so far. My exotics haven't been great. I may have had a few, but they've not been helpful.
Interesting, man. Yeah, I mean, I've probably used on 2 separate armors, but I think one was Nazarek, and the other one I got this really cool Rift build with Arc Souls with Vesper of Radiance, and it's one of my favorite builds right now. I'm having so much fun with it, and I also throw Thunder Coil on one of my other joints. But yeah, like that's about. I'm don't get me wrong. I'm very selective. I've only used it like I said, those 2 times. But again,
have
it
you
just
spent a
sucks.
golf ball yet?
No, I ain't doing that. It's
That's
just
like,
too much. Like
it's
a lot, bro.
Prisms, or you got to do the 980 Nightfall, and haven't done that yet.
I'm not wasting that.
What you do? My first 950 Nightfall.
Holla!
Finally.
Oh, when I'm jumping in the backpack. Let's go. I'm jumping in. Yeah, I was waiting to hear that.
I can
there
do
we go.
950s now. I can do at least this one.
Oh, yes.
If you told me to go do Brood Hold, that would take a lot of practice. But it's the Pyramidion. I've done it before. I kind of
yes.
But I will say, as a solo player, like Izanagi's is next to required.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially this week. Because, like, you have to kill the barrier. I don't have the catalyst, so I've got to get that. I did it without the catalyst, so.
Hit your boy. Boy, man. You and actually, shout out to Gaming Addict. Addict needs it too. He just got his technology. So you got 2 people. Get your chalice done, man. Is it perfected?
My chalice is done. It's been done. I just never ran the heroic.
Bro, let's go. Hit me up. I love that. I'm in there all
Catching
the time.
you
I love
online is like trying to find Superman, man.
You just got to plan it with me. Just tell me ahead of time when you want to do it. I'll be there. Let's do it. Love Menagerie. Shout out to actually we did Menagerie 2 nights ago. It was regular, but shout out to Gaming Forte, aka Nautical. We had a couple of stuff on there, but I love that activity still, man.
It's fun. It's just the variety's nice because you may not even have the same runs. That's why there's a lot of options. There's quick, short, little encounters. You get a little variety. It's not always the same. It's kind of fun. Like I thought that was a nice. That's a fun activity that gives for a season. Not always seeing the same run helps with the variety as opposed to. Here's the same path up the same set of stairs through the grassy knoll every time. Like, yeah, the variety. I mean, Menagerie was Menagerie. I'm saying it the way you are. Menagerie, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Menagerie is still good. Menagerie.
Yeah, it's still
Menagerie,
good.
Yeah.
But the thing, whatever. The thing about it though is that I like is also. I was running and shout out to Forte who never got a chance to see the gauntlet encounter. He never saw it before. I was like, yeah, they got the gauntlet. So he was all excited. But the thing that's dope though is that I was like, you know what? Oh yeah, let me fill up my chalice. And then I'm looking at all my armor pieces and I'm like, wait a minute. I've got some cool mods in Void for chest. And I don't have a Void chest right now. So I literally specced out my chalice to pick out. I love it with the new Armor 2.0.
Yeah.
You can get really creative with your armor drops and stuff like that. So, it's still viable to do, man. If you have mods and a specific affinity and stuff like that, run Menagerie, get that bad boy. And then also you get some specific Leviathan mods, which I use running Leviathan now. So now I will say this, which I do like about Armor 2.0. I have a Leviathan set, bro. Yeah. Like I have some opulent armor. I got a whole bunch of perks that I can, again, based on affinity, that's like giving me 50% energy damage, giving me stuff, heavy drops, and it's really, really fun, man. So remember we always wanted, certain armors to be effective and to have that kind of functionality in raids. This is the closest I feel we've come, but you just got to run those activities to get it. So yeah, man.
They're getting closer, definitely on some of that stuff for sure.
Yes, sir.
But other than that, TWAB was pretty light. They've got some stuff out there. Basically, they say time never stops. Festival Velocity got like 4 more days, so if you're going for triumphs, get your butt in there.
Yes, sir.
Momentum control is going away. I do hope they keep that in the rotation. Like, I would like to see that come through the 6v6 just every so often because it makes the game feel different. I know it's a ton of scout rifles and things go quick, but the occasional times you need to grind quests and stuff, it has some cool benefits, and it's just fun to be completely anti-meta.
Yes.
Like
It's a nice
just
change.
throws a wrench into everything, and it's a good way to mix it up. So I just hope that one comes through in its rotation.
Yeah, man. Get your catalyst, brothers. Get your I got to get mine done. Get that catalyst done, man. Those are the best way with momentum control. Get them scouts.
Seriously.
Anything.
So, yeah. But for me, that is mostly all I've been doing in the world of Destiny.
Yes,
what
sir.
about you? Pretty well caught up as well?
Yeah, I'm pretty much caught up, man. Like I said, I'm gonna tune in next week to see what's up. I'm probably still gonna be farming some specific things from raids. I guess my new type of time now, I'm on like this getting mods and certain weapons and title stuff from old raids.
Yeah.
So I'm in this Leviathan kick right now. I want to get Spire done, obviously, for Sleeper. I want to get Telesto Catalyst. I want to get out the way. I didn't get my Acarus on PC. So I just want to clean up. I've been in this raid mode of like old. I'm actually, if he's doing, I got to check in on Power, see if he's doing all right. But I want to hit Power up. And I want to get in a little.
I wouldn't mess too much right now. So.
Yeah, I know. When things settle down, hopefully for him. And again, salute and my condolences to him and his family. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like just trying to organize raid teams and get some old stuff done there. Work on. I know this guy's still going for Anarchy, things like that.
I don't have Anarchy. I don't have 1,000 Voices.
Me neither. Yeah, I that's been my end game, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like running the old raids.
Sake.
Yeah, like just having fun with that before I get ready to that, and then this weekend just touching, a lot of all these games come out. We got Jedi Fallen Order, you already know, what I'm saying. Outer Worlds I've still been rocking, and that's been pretty much it. I just wanted to say also, next week looks like the Stadia launch is happening, right? I believe that's coming. Just gotta give them a shout out. Shout out to xCloud for killing them on arrival, though. Salute to them. It's looking spooky.
I can't even
Stadia.
say anything because there's enough videos out there that have bashed everything that is pre-launch not going well. Hasn't even hit the street. Pre-orders are going to be spaced out. You're not going to have all the features they promised. Things are in a trial. The Chromecast has got to get updated, but it's not live at first. Controller only is going to work at the Chromecast, not on PC, but wireless. I'm like, what? That's a lot of stuff for a system and then this is again, of course, Google behind it, and it could be, but I can definitely tell you they're not putting the strong foot forward to start.
Yeah, shout out shout out to lordsgaming.net. We got a great article on Stadia. Please check it out. My boy Undead. Yeah, it almost feels like a glorified beta. It feels like a glorified beta right now.
I mean, and then you pay for the service.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still pay for the games.
Yes, individually.
There's no it's I don't know. I thought a long time ago. I actually thought about. I was like, hey, maybe I could literally take the Chromecast Ultra Puck and a controller with me up to visit family or something. Play it up there. Might have been cool. I didn't do it.
They're about to be DOA. Let me tell you why. Real quick, shout out to XO19 that went down. Project X Cloud, not only did they announce that they are also going to be utilizing it in their browser, which a lot of people had an issue with, because people were like, hey, I don't want to play on this. I don't want to use my phone to play games. They're going to put it on a browser. That's number one. Number two, they just announced 50 games and EA as part of it. And Destiny's coming. So and literally they've included into Game Pass. So all you gotta have is Game Pass and have this plethora of library of games with the functionality in a sound say for free, but in a sense for free, right? You're getting all this stuff, whereas Stadia is you only use a specific phone, and I gotta buy Destiny individually again, and then it's looking spooky. I hate that. I'm usually a person that's very, I'll say optimistic, but try to be positive. It don't look good right now, especially what the stuff that xCloud is announcing. So, yeah, that's that. But I am curious to see how the launch goes. I will curious to see how the launch. I'm curious to see how Destiny plays on Stadia. That's what I want to see.
They'll only play with Stadia people, because there is no crossplay for their sake. They're only playing with Destiny people. So if you think you don't have PlayStation, PC. Yeah, I'm real curious about that matchmaking.
How that matchmaking gonna be?
You're either gonna see the same 12 people in every lobby and be like, "Oh, this guy's good." There's only 12 of us on this server, so I'm seeing him all day long.
He said it's gonna be 12 people. Yo, you a fool! Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. We'll see. We'll see, man. But that's what I got.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're a Pokemon fan, Sword and Shield came out today or yesterday night, I think. Whatever. It's out. I haven't played Pokemon since Red, Blue, and Yellow. I literally jumped into Fallout's Twitch because he was streaming it, and I was like, dude, I haven't played in so long. I have not played a full Pokemon in so long. So, like, I know I'll be doing some driving and stuff like that, so I might pick it up. I'm not picking it up right now, but, like, I haven't played one of those in so long. I'm actually, like, curious to, like, maybe slap that on the Switch and take it on the go.
Yeah, gotta pull it out, man. See what's up, man. It's a lot of good games, man. A lot of good games this week.
I was like, and then, of course, for you guys, if you're watching this one live or you just follow me on Twitch, Star Wars.
Woo!
So this is the one I'm excited about, so I did want to talk about it a little bit. What have you heard before I get into what I've heard, roughly, from reviews and notions of what it might be like?
Yeah. Listen, man, I mean, as far as, you know, shout out to Respawn. I'm a huge Respawn fanboy. In my opinion, I don't feel they've ever made a bad game. Obviously, Bungie's one of my favorite developers, but Respawn is in my top 3. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, like, I love me some Respawn. So I got a chance, what is it, E3 2018 last year, to see that thing. Yeah, see this thing behind closed doors, and I'm telling y'all right now, I am not a Star Wars game fan. I'm not a hardcore Star Wars game guy. I'm just not. I mean, I'm a casual guy that, like, you know, watches the franchise, but I wouldn't consider myself hardcore. I get every game. When I left that behind the scene viewing of this game, my mouth hit the floor. The things I saw with the manipulation of the lightsaber, using it as a weapon, coming back, manipulating enemies, force pull, it was so cool. Then it had like platforming. Then you had the cinematic aspects of like an Uncharted. It was like, yo. Then they had wall running, which is my thing from Titanfall, where you kind of skedaddle on the wall. Bro, I said, man, they got it. I said, they got one. I am in on this.
And
I am
icing on the cake is the combat.
The combat and the Dark Souls aspect, you know, which I'm probably going to struggle with. But, you know, I do want to support this game. You know, I love Respawn. They're the makers of the Titanfall series. They're the makers of the original Call of Duties that I grew up with, the Modern Warfares, those classic ones. That's Vince Zampella. Those are my guys. And I got to support it, man. It's good to see this thing. I saw the Metacritic came out looking strong. So, yeah, I'm only mad that it's not free trial on EA Access like most EA Access games. They must knew this game was good. They ain't giving that. But shout out to my boy E. He said it's on Premiere, right? Premiere for PC?
On PC, it's on Origin Premiere. So if you, like, I bought it for Anthem.
Yes.
I'm not really going to talk about that right now. But I bought it for the year. So while Anthem gave me some hours of play, this is definitely going to be also included in there. So Origin Access Premiere. So this is not costing me a dime, and it's going to be freaking amazing. So I'm looking forward to Dark Souls lightsaber battles and deliberate combat and cinematic story, 20, 30 hours of just crazy fun Star Wars. And I heard Kind of Funny basically mention it's a gamer's game. There's a little bit of like old school like pulls, as you said. There's Uncharted, there's platforming, there's a little Metroidvania where you got to go unlock stuff with abilities later, and then you have the combat and the dodging and the parrying, and I'm like, yep, all of the above.
Yep, you're in, bro. And I'm telling you right now, that game makes you feel powerful once you start mastering skills. Like, you feel like a Jedi. You feel like it is really cool. So I'm in. I'm with you. And I'm actually opening up my Origin app to get the download.
Focus. We're not done yet. Hold on. We're not done.
Just want to make sure. Once you told me that, I'm in, baby. I'm in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's been that, man. But yeah, I know you're hype.
I'm pretty pumped just because, I mean, Sekiro was a blast. Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, still probably my top is Bloodborne of all of those. Sekiro was cool. Sekiro was like a switch because you're like, get the hell out of the way. And then Sekiro, you're like, stand in the way, but time it right. And I'm like, this is so backwards. But when Sekiro clicked for me, oh, dude, like so much. Hard as hell still, believe me. But also a ton of fun. And this is, if this can scratch that itch even like halfway, oh, man. Plus the Star Wars, I'm just diving in first. So if you guys want to watch, stay tuned to the channel. Twitch.tv/Ebontis. If you guys are listening on audio, I will be playing, streaming, uploading content. Might like trim up some of the recordings, but I will be definitely playing this one. I have no idea if YouTube's going to give me like flags on these things, but I'm going to try and upload some stuff. We'll see.
Made for kids. Made for kids.
That's a new one. That's a whole different discussion. Anyway.
Yeah, Lord.
But yeah, that'll be me splitting time between that, work, and then finishing festival this weekend, because that's...
Yes.
And then at some point, I got to go through my solo comp. That'll be a discussion for a weekend that actually happens. But my brother did it, so I have faith. So
salute to Stone. That's what's up.
Yeah, that was awesome. He just tweeted me. He's like 1,200. Then he was like Randy's. I was like, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I'm like, he got his
knocked
before
that
me.
thing out in like 4 days. I was like, you're a machine, dude. When he
he's a
gets his
beast.
mind behind something and he wants Undying, so he wants this is his first title is going to be Undying.
Wow. He's like, I got to get my
he's going
first.
for it. So shout out to my bro getting Undying
Salute.
when he does, coming soon.
Salute
That's
to
about
the
all we
Star
got.
Wolf.
It's somehow kind of a light week-ish.
Yeah, ish.
Like last week, there was not a lot to talk about, and you were down here, so we're like, we thought about doing an in-person last word, but there really wasn't that much to cover. So, yeah, we got a couple light weeks as festivals going on. Make sure you guys spend your bright dust. There's a whole lot of Eververse controversy and things like that on the cost. We'll kind of see how things net out, but that might be a topic for another week. But I'm going to let this man get out to his birthday festivities. So let him know what you got going on this weekend. You may be so drunk there may not even be an Iron Lord podcast, but you tell him what you got going on, sir.
There will be no guest this week on Iron Lord podcast.
Maybe unprofessional Sunday for y'all.
Yes, it would just be the Lord's. You already know. But first of all, thank everyone for the birthday wishes. Really appreciate it. Really good, feels good to feel the love from everybody, man. Thank you guys so much. Obviously, at Lord Cognito, you already know what it is on Twitter and YouTube on Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern. No guests this week, just the Lords. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to be having some fun. We're going to be talking about EXO recaps. We're going to be talking about Pokemon. We're going to talk about said Star Wars. You know what I mean? So we're really going to be touching all the bases on that. And also, by the way, for those who are subscribed or not subscribed to the Iron Lord Podcast YouTube channel, please, when you get a chance, man, check us out. We got some new subscriber perks that really cool, man. Like, kind of, if you've been following the Lords, you know we king of the catchphrases and throw them in the bushes and, you know what I'm saying, Phil dominant, all these crazy sayings that we usually get people to say. So if you get a chance and if you want to join the realm, please do. We got some cool badges, some cool emojis. You can earn your way from a peasant to a knight squire and to all the way to a lord. So we got these cool. Yo, dude, shout out to Graphic God. He did a phenomenal job. Graphic God is also the guy who did Last Word, y'all. Yeah. So Graphic God's amazing. He did the emojis are hilarious. If you go to Iron Lord Podcast Twitter, you'll see when we give you a little sample, throw them in the bushes, you get the two little feet. Bro, we got some funny ones, man. So please, again, if you're a fan of Lords, it's very inexpensive. If you want to support us, we'll also have some perks behind the scenes stuff when we're at the events, the shows, and all that good stuff. So salute my Iron Lord Podcast brothers, King David, Lord Sovereign, Lord Addict. We're just trying to do something fun for the community, for you guys. So support us if you choose. If not, just show up in the chat and laugh at the emojis. That's what you gotta do. That's it, man. But that's all I got. And birthday turn up will be happening.
Oh yeah, I will see the semblance of some type of man that you are on Sunday. But you guys have fun with that one. For me, I will be streaming Star Wars or Destiny as much as I can this weekend between a whole bunch of other crap I have going on. So I don't know when I'm gonna get it done, but I want to play. So stay tuned to Twitch, Twitter. You guys know I've got my Patreon if you guys do want to support me directly as well.
Support this man.
If you guys want to support the podcast, up there in the links in the description, you guys can actually support the podcast directly. So pick any and all of us. Spread the love to a little bit to everything. But right here on Twitch, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're listening to the audio version, thank you guys for listening. Come find us on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that. Check out our faces. We're funny to look at least. So that is about all we got. But this has been episode number 81, creeping up towards the hundo.
Yeah.
So
nice
November 15th, episode 81. It is Ebontis the cheetah, Cognito the ninja.
Woo!
Thank you guys very much. And for this episode, it has been The Last Word.